Hey, what's going on out the YouTube family? This is Samuel Leggett here representing Team JVS. I'm back here again for another movie review. The name of this movie is called The Promising Young Woman. This is starring Carey Mulligan. If you remember Drive or Shame or The Great Gatsby or Brothers or one of my favorites with her with Andrew Garfield, Let Me Go, you know her face. You know her acting style. This was directed by Emerald Fennell from Killing Eve. And the premise behind this is that Cassie, played by Carey, is a promising young woman that has a bright future. Everybody looked at like she's going to medical school. She's got everything in front of her until something stops that, like that. And this tragic event shapes and sculpts her into something, in my personal opinion, from a performance standpoint, something unworldly. Like is very fascinating of a role. Carey Mulligan, and this is not shade or backhanded compliment, but normally the characters that she kind of portrays are kind of like monotone and very meek and mild and like, you know, reserved. Like most of the time I don't really get to see her, you know, come out of her shell. I don't most of the time get to see her like embrace like a different side of a different character. But this role of Cassie as unstable but yet at the same time procedurally accurate, and like she is devoted to what she is trying to do. That this is probably her best performance she's ever done in her career that I've seen so far, because she is not any of the characters she's ever played before. Because the role of Cassie, you know, she can one minute be this party girl, another minute be very intellectually like precise, then another minute just completely and utterly like disassociated from everybody and everything. And she hits these emotional like triggers so well. Like there's so many different scenes that she's in that I was really impressed by the caliber of what she was doing with this role of Cassie, in all honesty. This is a non-spoiler review, but there's something that happened to someone that she knows specifically. And the thing about this specific film and the way that it's written and the way that it's actually told, it does something with the line of abuse, and that normally doesn't happen or even goes this route. I will come back to something about what Carey does with her performance that I'm going to bring up in a second, but I have to be very specific about this because normally when it comes to an abuse situation, the main, you know, protagonist or somebody really close is the person that's dealing with this. They're the victim. This movie identifies when there is a victim, what that does to the person outside the actual victim. A person that is close to them. What does that do to them internally and emotionally? And honestly, without saying too much, a person that has potentially dealing with like a situation of abuse or something that may have happened to them, they look at this film, it's easier to watch something that, you know, the victim is the main protagonist and just kind of go through the mills, because you know you have to, you know, force yourself to go and pick yourself back up to continue to move. What's harder, and what was harder for me emotionally to actually watch this, is to see the effects of that abuse from somebody that actually really truly cares, and what that did to them and what that changed them into being. The performance that Carey does in this one was tricking me because of just how well she was performing it. There were some moments that I was like, maybe this is a mind twist. There is a twist to this. There is a twist. But if you pay close attention to it, the signs are all there, and knowing where the punchline goes to it. And there's an actual real pivotal point to it that links all this together. And this is the key to that. But throughout the beginning, first act specifically, I was wondering, is this a science fiction film? I was wondering, was this a mind-bendy science fiction thriller? Because I really had no idea what was really happening. Whenever Cassie would go out and go to the bar and go and do whatever she was doing, my mind went somewhere completely different. And the way that Carey performs it, you wouldn't know. And as well as like her fellow castmates, because when she was actually doing it, I was like, yo, this is crazy. So the other stars in this one is Bo Burnham plays the role of Ryan, the love interest. You've got Laverne Cox plays the role of somebody that she's working with, and Gail. Alison Brie is in this. She plays the role of a character named Madison. Adam Brody is in this one. Sam Richardson's in this one. No, it's like some good comedians and actually in this one. But this is not a comedy. There are specific moments that could be taken off as comedy, but they're just filmed very well. That's the only way I got it. This point in place in script. I think that's the best way I can put it. Heck, even Jennifer Coolidge plays the role of Susan, which is Cassie's mom, and Clancy Brown, the legend, plays the role of the dad. Some of the things. Oh, I forgot who else is also in this one. Christopher Mintz is actually in this as well. The way that this is directed and the way that this is actually shot, there's a lot of iconic imagery and a lot of like dissociative like connections to the mental state of the character Cassie throughout this film. Her detachment, her connection to this, her tortured soul through this, her attempts at hope through this. A lot of the times they use a lot of different color palettes that complement those different scenes. And then it was weird. There was one moment where Alison Brie and Carey Mulligan have a scene together at Cassie's home, and the whole scene, like the area where they're in, is completely pink. And like normally you're like, oh, okay, that looks really cute, and it does look beautiful, but there's something about it that just felt off. And it's meant to bring you to this place of discomfort. And not just that, the character Cassie, there's never a scene that Cassie's in where I feel like she's completely feeling safe and comfortable in it. There are moments that she is brought to levels of joy and capability of human connection. Like when she's with her counterpart or co-worker Gail, or when she's with her love interest Ryan. But in all actuality, what's really going on is she's completely removed from all this. There's a specific line that that her dad says in this one, played by Clancy Brown, where it's like, you lost this, but I also have missed you. And that will platform you to where the resolve, whereas all this is going and what is actually really going on. And if you don't pay attention to it, you might miss your target and might be kind of feeling disappointed. But if you really know what's really going on, and when you get a little bit of a clarity after the fact of watching this, you'll see that this is a very solid film. It's a very solid film. There's certain things I kind of felt like it was kind of wasted opportunities, and a lot of things are left up to interpretation about what certain things happen. And the way certain things were done in the second act, specifically in the third act too. But the resolve is still the same. I'll leave this at a 9 out of 10. I think this is easily Carey Mulligan's best performance. Could she get a nomination for it? I'm not sure. But I can say that she did an amazing job with this role. And I think it definitely is worth the watch. But know that this is rated R film. This is a lot of language. This is, the subject matter is very, even though they don't glorify it, they don't go into it, the pain is still there. The emotion is still there. And the disconnect is still there based on the circumstance of what this is surrounding. So this is not for you something you watch with your kids whatsoever. So be forewarned about that. Hopefully you guys enjoy this review. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Peace, guys.